Hey everyone, this is Naxel with turn 6 of Operation Spark. We'll start as usual with technology rolls. See if technology is nice to us. Since we're on stage 2, and we have 2 working factories this turn, we're going to be continuing Amphib and starting long-range aircraft. And we miss Amphib, but we also miss long-range aircraft because it's a higher number. So no technology allowed for us this turn. The Commonwealth has various purchases. The Commonwealth will be buying an artillery. Great Britain, will be buying an artillery, 2 militia, a militia upgrade, a colonial, and repairing their airfield and their factory in London. FEC will be buying a Gurkha and 2 colonials and saving 1. And Anzac will be buying an infantry and a militia and saving 3. Now our combat moves are fairly simple. We just bring these ships down to a 48, I believe that is. Alongside this fighter. Take another crack at that battle cruiser. See if we can find it. Don't remember its numbers, so I'll just double check. +6. Okay. So in terms of our combats, I believe that is it, and everything else will just be unit shuffling. So we'll roll to see if this combat even occurs. So the purple die will be for the Commonwealth, and the blue die will be for the Germans. The Germans have +6 to their roll, and I have +8. Let's see if I can roll higher than a 2 or whatever I got last time. Nope, it's a 2 again, so the Germans need to roll a 1 or a 2 in order for me to successfully find this battlecruiser. And they roll a 5, so we once again are not allowed to find this battlecruiser. I'm going to roll, then I'm going to, this is non-combat moves now, because that was the only combat move. This transport is going to strategic naval move to Gibraltar. I believe that battlecruiser can't engage with it because it was involved in another fight. But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. And if I was, I'll have just included it as part of that fight. Number 2 is we do some slight shuffling around of units. We bring the Marine down here. We trade the infantry for a militia. We take this coastal defense ship and put it in port. Take this battleship and put it in port. I'll grab an import marker because also these 2 transports are moving over to the port in A21 rather than the port in A22. Then the rest of the fleet is moving 1, 2, 3, 4. They're moving down to A44. Nothing in the med. Over in Africa, just move some units around. Moving these 2 up to Rhodesia. And we're keeping everyone else where they are for the moment. No movement in FEC. They're gonna chill out in Benares still. And no movement in Sydney. No movement in Anzac. They're gonna keep hanging out in Sydney. Which brings us on to placement of units. So we'll start with stuff in Great Britain proper, which is just the repair. We repair our airfield and our factory in London. We spend a militia upgrade in Gibraltar. So militia upgrade, then let's move on to Africa. Well, we're putting a colonial and a militia down. The colonial goes in Rhodesia, and the militia goes into Transjordan. Then we have the artillery that gets produced in South Africa by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, over to the port in Nova Scotia, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over to the port in British Guiana, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over to St. Helena, then 1, 2, over to Cape Town, without hitting any German submarines. Because we prefer it when our units get to the place they're supposed to go. Then we have FEC and Anzac. FEC is going to place a Gurkha in Benares, a colonial in Maharashtra, and a colonial in southern India. Then we are going to produce a militia and a infantry over in Sydney. I will get a task force marker for before I upload this save. Then that is the end of the British turn. So the Great Britain collected 21, spent 21. Anzac spent 12, collected 13. FEC spent 5, collected 8. So Anzac, Great Britain saves 0, FEC saves 1, and Anzac saves 3. Now we set the incomes. So Great Britain is at 26. Anzac is at, and Great Britain collects 26, Anzac collects 9, and FEC collects 14. So FEC goes to 15, Anzac goes to 12, and Great Britain goes to 26. Now we move on to the French turn. French are buying a militia. as for their combat moves, take this transport, bring it over to M4. No, sorry, they don't bring it over to M4. They put it in the port and they take Syria. Which becomes French again. Sorry, not French, Free French. Then for their other combat move, they're gonna they're gonna move over to M3, and they're gonna raid the Italians. So they've got to be some of the Germans not left any dice over here that they used to raid me with. How rude. There we are. There's some. So black will be the attacker and red will be the defender to keep our theming consistent. So the French possess only +2 for being a submarine. So they get a 7. The Italians do not get a 7. So, I believe with that being all the raiding we can do, we will take 1 off of the Italian bank, bringing them down to 15. And then having moved 1, no, I think we have to stay there in order to raid there. I'll double check. Then we move the airborne back to Cameroon. And we produce this militia in Cameroon. Actually, I think we're going to produce the militia in Syria. Nope, we can't because we didn't own it at the beginning of the turn. So we'll produce it in Cameroon. And then we will pass over to the... Oh, sorry. We will collect 2. Spend 2, collect 2. And then we will pass over to the Italians. Thanks for watching.